Hi everyone, welcome back to English for You. I'm Pat.
And I'm Kat.
So we're in day 2 of our fun facts article, and it's all about crying. Now, there are many reasons for crying, okay? So there are different types of tears.
Yeah. So we talked about one kind was emotional tears. So we cry like this when we're sad, sometimes when we're happy, sometimes when we're angry. Just whenever you're feeling a really extreme emotion, you might cry these kinds of tears. And it actually has some health benefits, doesn't it?
Yeah, it removes stress chemicals from our body, and also the tears contain something that makes our pain less. But that's just one type of tears. We also produce basal tears.
Right. And so these, there's a lot less of them usually. They're a little bit salty. They flow all the time, so you've got them in your eyes right now, and they keep our eyes from drying out. They keep them moist.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so we kind of get through about 1 cup of these tears per day, coming kind of from the inside of our head, over our eyes, and then down through the nose.
Right.
But, as we mentioned yesterday, there is a third kind of crying and a third kind of tears.
I wonder.
What is it? Let's find out.
Reading.
Fun facts. We cry hardest when we're sad. But why do tears flow down our faces when we cut an onion? Surely, we don't feel sad for the innocent vegetable we're slicing with a knife. Actually, onions cause reflex tears, which are completely different from emotional or basal tears. Reflex tears happen when our eyes need to wash out foreign substances. Smoke, dirt, or dust can create reflex tears. Our eyes need to quickly get rid of these irritants before they cause damage. But why do our eyes think onions are dangerous? It's because onions absorb large amounts of sulfur from the soil. When we cut into an onion, a bit of sulfur gas escapes into the air around us. What's interesting is that you can see the difference in tears when you look at them under a microscope. Basal tears are like the roots of a tree, while reflex tears look like stars. It's all proof that our tears do different things for us at different times.
Okay, so our article starts off today by talking about these third kinds of tears. Well, actually asking a question about them. It says, we cry hardest when we're sad, but why do tears flow down our faces when we cut an onion?
All right, that almost always happens.
I mean, yeah, so an onion, for those of you who don't know, is a noun. That means it's a kind of vegetable. So it's round, and it's pointy at the top. They can come in white, yellow, or purple colors. I think the most common kind is white. And they have a lot of layers that you can peel. So the outside layers are kind of dry. They get a little more wet as you go in. And if you cut it open, or you cook it, or you eat it, it has a very strong and very smelly flavor. It'll give you bad breath. And if you cut it when you haven't cooked it yet, it's gonna hurt your eyes.
Yeah, they are quite tasty. I do like onions. There are also other kinds of onions, like the green spring onions, which are long and thin. They still have a round bit at the very bottom. They've got a long stalk, and so, yeah, lots of different kinds of onions.
Yeah, and the green onions are a little bit less smelly, and they don't make you cry so much.
Right.
Yeah, but the yellow and white and purple onions, they definitely do.
Okay, so for a sentence we could say, Mum cut up some onions and put them in the soup. Okay, so we cut onions and we start crying. Now, as the article says, surely we don't feel sad for the innocent vegetable we're slicing with a knife.
No, don't kill me.
Maybe some people are. Maybe I mean, you are vegetarian as
yes,
well.
Yes, I am.
Yeah, and I'm
we
vegetarian.
both
So maybe we do feel a little bit of pity for these onions.
Not really.
Not really, no, because they're one of the things we can eat, so we eat them, we don't feel sad.
They don't feel pain, so.
No. Okay, what we are describing here, we're describing these onions as innocent. Innocent can mean something or someone that has done nothing wrong. Innocent can also describe a person with sort of no real idea of how bad the world can be. They don't really understand what's really going on, so they're kind of happy.
Yeah.
So there's two different uses. We're using the first one in our article, and in this case, an example would be the man was found innocent of the crime. He didn't do anything wrong. If we were using the second meaning, we could use this example sentence. The innocent young girl didn't know how dangerous it was to go into the woods alone.
Well, be careful there.
Yeah, big bad wolf lives in there.
Exactly.
So, we're slicing up this innocent onion.
Oh, the poor onion that hasn't done anything wrong. We slice it. So, slice is a verb that, as you can probably guess, means to cut. So, but it's a particular kind of cut. There's a whole bunch of different verbs for cutting things. But this one means to cut it into even, thin pieces. So, you might slice onions for onion rings. Another vegetable you might slice is a cucumber to make little pieces of cucumber slices, or slicing a potato to make French fries.
Yep.
Of course, if you eat meat, you might also slice meat into little pieces for sandwiches. So another example sentence for slice, I sliced up a banana and put the pieces in my bowl of cereal.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, that's an onion and we're slicing them up, and then we often, almost always, kind of start to cry a bit. And what our article says is actually onions cause reflex tears, which are completely different from the other two kinds, emotional or basal tears.
Right.
So there are three different kinds of tears caused by three different situations. The tears are kind of three different chemicals in them, and they do three different things.
Right.
So, reflex tears.
Yeah, reflex tears happen when our eyes need to wash out foreign substances. Now, when we say foreign here, we don't mean like Wygordon. We mean like...
Don't we?
Well, I mean maybe, but like we mean that things that are not natural to our body and can actually hurt us, those are foreign to us.
Yeah, if you've swallowed something like a piece of plastic, we could call it a foreign body or a foreign object, something like that. Something that really shouldn't be in your body. It's from outside, it shouldn't be in there.
Right. So wash out here means it's a phrasal verb that means use water or something else like maybe salt water or something else that can clean to get dirt or chemicals or soap or etc., out of something. You could also say rinse out, especially if you're using just water. So washing you can do with soapy water, like if you're washing out a bowl that you've eaten out of, but rinse is only with water or salt water.
That's right. So I would guess you could use eye drops to wash out your eye, couldn't you?
You could.
Something like that.
Yes.
Okay, so that's what we're kind of getting rid of things that shouldn't be there. And we see in the article that smoke, dirt, or dust can create reflex tears.
Interesting.
Okay, so we've given three examples of things that cause reflex tears here. We know what smoke is, we kind of know what dust is, but what is dirt? Well, dirt is kind of anything. It's like mud, a little bit of dust, it could be dry oil. It's any kind of substance, if you think of that word from day one, that makes something else dirty. Maybe you get it on your hands when you're outside, it could be in the air and end up on your clothes if the air is not very clean, something like that. You often find it on the floors of houses when it just gets there and it needs to be cleaned up. Could be anything really, but it stops things from being clean. Here's an example. After playing in the park for an hour, the children's clothes and hands were covered in dirt.
Okay, so yeah, if you get dirt in your eyes, of course... Yeah, of course, your eyes want to get rid of it. Or if smoke is coming into your eyes from a campfire, it's like, you gotta get out. Okay, and then your eyes will make reflex tears. Our eyes need to quickly get rid of these irritants, that means things that irritate your eyes, before they cause damage. And so here we see this phrase, get rid of. This is kind of like eliminate in the first day. It's another phrasal verb. It means to throw something away, make it go away, or make it leave and not be there anymore.
Exactly. Now in this case, the things we need to get rid of, we can call them irritants. So as Kat mentioned earlier, an irritant is anything that irritates you. And here we mean it's some kind of chemical that causes our body to feel uncomfortable and often results in reactions such as redness on our skin, itching, tears, sneezing, those kinds of things. And these are all of these are our body's ways of dealing with things that aren't good for us. So irritants, things like dust and so on, they bother us, but they don't do too much damage as long as we keep them out, we get rid of them, or we don't experience too much of these things, because that can be bad. So an onion, the stuff that comes out of an onion, that's an irritant. Smoke, dust, dirt, all those things irritate us. They don't hurt us, they just make us feel uncomfortable, unhappy, and kind of make us want to get rid of that thing. But the problem with these irritants is if we don't get rid of them fast, or if we get too much in us, it will cause damage.
Damage, yes. Damage is a noun here that means harm, like something that harms you or causes hurt. It makes your body, or sometimes an object, we can also talk about damage to things, in less good condition because it's been worn down, it's been hurt. Maybe damage could mean that if you get onion in your eyes and you don't rinse it out or wash it out with your tears, then your eyes are going to be hurt, and maybe
maybe for a long time.
Yeah, maybe you will even not be able to see anymore.
Yes, exactly.
So another example of damage is Elaine's hand was damaged in the accident, or Elaine's hand took some damage in the accident, so she has to wear bandages until it's better.
That's right. So as we see there, we can use damage as a noun, like it took damage, or damage as a verb, somebody was damaged.
Right.
Okay, so that's what reflex tears do, and that's why we need to get rid of irritants. But, to go back to the article, why do our eyes think onions are dangerous?
Ooh,
like,
onions!
oh no, an onion! What are we going to do about it?
Well, the article says it's because onions absorb large amounts of sulfur from the soil. Okay, interesting. So, sulfur is this kind of, well, it's a substance we'll talk about later, but absorb here is a verb that means to soak up. So it pulls something else into it completely. So, yeah, onions absorb this thing from the soil while they're growing. Towels, for example, absorb water. That's why you use them to dry yourself off after a shower. Or if you're wearing like a mask over your mouth while you're riding a scooter, it can absorb some air pollution. Or your skin, when your skin's feeling dry, you might put some lotion or some cream on it. Your skin will absorb that very quickly and it will go all the way into it.
Okay, and we talked about these onions, they absorb a large amount of something. Now, when we use the word amount, we mean a quality or a quantity of something, especially the total quantity of something. We usually talk about amount to get to mean how much in the end. Now we can modify this word. It could mean, we could use great and small and so on to add information. A great amount of something is a lot. A small amount is a little bit. So an amount is just the total number, and then we can change it by adding other words in front.
Right.
For example, I only have a small amount of homework to do this weekend.
Yay!
So it's a little bit, not many things. If I said, I have a large amount of homework to do this weekend, that's a lot.
Yeah.
So, in this case, there's sulfur in the ground and it's being absorbed. But, as we said, sulfur.
Yeah, sulfur is, like I said, it's a chemical. And you've smelled it before, almost certainly. It smells very strongly. If you've smelled eggs that are not good anymore, if you've gone to a hot spring, that smell you smell is sulfur. But sulfur actually has a lot of uses. It has a lot of good uses too. You can use it in food, like, yeah, you can use it for like nutrition.
Yes, our body does need a little bit. So that's why it's okay to eat onions even though they've absorbed sulfur. This isn't always a bad chemical.
Yeah, and also eggs have sulfur in them, even if you can't smell it that much. Or bath products can also have some sulfur in them.
Yeah, which is why it's good. Why we say taking a hot spring is very healthy. Sulfur is one of the chemicals in the water that helps our skin, helps our bodies, does all that kind of thing.
Right.
However, what we don't like about sulfur is the kind of smell it makes.
Or the stinging.
Yeah, exactly. We do react to it. So that's why if you go to somewhere like Shinbeito, you would go, oh, that big, that lake up there, it smells a bit strong. Okay, so this is what happens. when we cut into an onion, a bit of sulfur gas escapes into the air around us. So if we use that word amount from earlier, we could say a small amount of sulfur gas. So remember, liquid turns into a gas. It's just a gas in the air. It escapes into the air around us.
Interesting. I think it probably isn't just sulfur because sulfur by itself doesn't sting your eyes.
No, usually chemicals combine with other things that are in the air or in the food. So that's why an onion doesn't smell so much when you smell it, but when you cut it and the chemicals get into the air, different things happen.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so you guys can look that up by yourself, but let's go on with our article. What's interesting is that you can see the difference in tears when you look at them under a microscope.
Oh, that is kind of cool.
Yeah, so not all tears are created equal. So now we're going to cut for some grammar. We're going to learn what's interesting. All right, we've got this grammar point, which is what's interesting. Now, this isn't a question. I'm not asking you what's interesting. It's a way of beginning a sentence. So we will often see this with what's adjective, is that something something. So when that something something is a noun phrase. So when we have what's adjective is that before that, shows the emphasis on what the noun phrase is like. It tells you about the adjective as a way to set you up or kind of lead you into what the noun phrase says. So if you think about it, what's adjective is a noun phrase too. It's short for the thing that is adjective. So in this case, the thing that is interesting. We turn it into what's interesting because it's shorter to say. So if you say the thing that is worse than the other thing is that you lied to me. Or what's worse is that you lied to me. So another one might be the thing that is even funnier is that Janice didn't know I was there. Or if we shorten it, what's even funnier is that Janice didn't know I was there. Okay, so what's interesting about these tears as you can see the difference under a microscope?
Yeah, if you take your reflex tears, basal tears, and emotional tears and put them on a little glass thing and looked at them, then you would see that they're different. But you have to use a microscope to see the difference. A microscope is a device that you'll often see, well, you'll always see in any science lab, and it uses powerful glass lenses, like really powerful versions of the ones you might use in your glasses, to let us look at very small things that we can't see with our eyes, like the cells in our body, blood, viruses, all of those kinds of things. We can't see them, so we have to use a microscope to see what they really look like. So you could get these tears, as I've said, you could look at them under a microscope. They'd be different, but how?
All right, well, the article says basal tears are like the roots of a tree. Okay, so if you think of what a tree looks like and the things that go down into the ground, basal tears look like that. While reflex tears look like stars.
Wow,
sounds fancy.
That is pretty cool. We don't mention what emotional tears look like, but they will be different as well. Okay, and that kind of brings us back to our conclusion. So we've talked about these tears, 3 different kinds, and we say it's all proof that our tears do different things for us at different time. So here, it's, this pronoun it's, is kind of meaning the entire article that we've been talking about. So they look different, they come at different times, they do different functions when we're talking about tears. And all of this information, all of what we've talked about is proof that our tears do different things at different times. Okay? Get rid of get rid of our sad feelings, get rid of the dust. Just keep our eyes nice and moist.
Right.
Okay, that brings us to the end of today's article. We're not quite done yet, though. Let's go to our For You chat question.
For You chat.
Okay, our question is, what's the most painful thing you've ever gotten in your eyes? And was it serious?
Oh my.
Here we
well,
go.
This is a very embarrassing question for me.
Yes.
Because when I was a kid, sometimes kids do things that are not smart. Just because they want to find out, like, are my parents lying to me? Do people really mean it when they say onions make you cry? So I had cooked with onions before when I was about, 10 to 11 years old. And they had never made me cry, so I thought like, oh, people aren't serious. Like, there's no way the onions make you cry. So what I did was I cut open an onion and held it up to my eye.
Oh.
That was a bad idea.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It did make me cry.
Yeah.
Quite a lot.
Was it serious?
I didn't have any lasting damage, no.
Okay. Did you have to go to the hospital, or did you get eye drops? No, you just kind of cried it out.
I rinsed my eyes out in the sink. My mom laughed at me because she thought I was ridiculous, which I was. Yeah. So.
Okay.
That was my embarrassing thing that I got in my eye, and since then, I have done my best
Been
to.
careful.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't think I've ever had anything serious. No, nothing damaging. Probably
That's
the
good.
same sort of thing. Either a bit of like spicy sauce, or from an actual chili, or an onion, or a piece of garlic, something like that. Just you just kind of wipe yourself without thinking, and suddenly you're like, ow, 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 that really hurts.
Your cheek starts to burn.
Yeah, maybe something like salt or pepper, or something very common that you would find in and around the house.
Or tiger balm.
I've never even, I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah, I use tiger balm a lot for like mosquito bites. So, sometimes I would, use it on my finger, put it on my body, and then I would forget to wash my finger, and I will wipe my face, and then my face starts to feel really cold and spicy.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like something with like menthol in it, that kind
or
of
cinnamon.
Yeah, that chemical that makes you cool, and you can put it on your muscles when you're sore. I've definitely got something like that in my eye. And that it's painful, it's no fun, and you can't sleep.
Just be careful when you wipe your face. Guys.
Exactly. Always keep your hands nice and clean. Okay, that is the end of our For You Chat question and the end of our 2-day article. Thanks for watching, everyone. For English For You, I'm Pat.
And I'm Kat.
Talk to you next time.
Bye-bye.
Fun facts. We cry hardest when we're sad. But why do tears flow down our faces when we cut an onion? Surely, we don't feel sad for the innocent vegetable we're slicing with a knife. Actually, onions cause reflex tears, which are completely different from emotional or basal tears. Reflex tears happen when our eyes need to wash out foreign substances. Smoke, dirt, or dust can create reflex tears. Our eyes need to quickly get rid of these irritants before they cause damage. But why do our eyes think onions are dangerous? It's because onions absorb large amounts of sulfur from the soil. When we cut into an onion, a bit of sulfur gas escapes into the air around us. What's interesting is that you can see the difference in tears when you look at them under a microscope. Basal tears are like the roots of a tree, while reflex tears look like stars. It's all proof that our tears do different things for us at different times.
Vocabulary Review.
Onion. Peter likes onions on his hamburgers, but Katie doesn't because they make her breath smell bad. Innocent. Many innocent people were hurt when their country was attacked in the war. Slice. Jenny sliced the pie into 8 pieces to serve to all of her guests. Dirt. Please take your shoes off when you come in so you don't get dirt in the house. damage. Annie rode her bike into Mr. Huang's garden and caused some damage to his flowers. Amount. Rita gives her plants a small amount of water every day.
智慧小补帖
Irritant. Absorb. Sulfur. Microscope.
以上节目是由活用空中美语制作，活用空中美语杂志，请洽询全国各大书店。如欲索取试听教材，请来电02-2364-4000 02-2364-4000，或上网查询，网址是 www.english4u.net www.english4u.net